Alright guys, welcome back. The most random update that just happened. We got the new selection pack. I wasn't expecting this. I also was not ready for this. I was just on my way back to my parents and I decided to stream today and then take a train later so we can take a look and stream the new update here. We obviously have the new selection pack with Bonfire, which we will take a look at in a moment. Crazy. New protectors, Traptrix, Sarah and Dark Magician Girl, which is quite nice here. Dear Bellstar. And then we also have Promethean Princess wallpaper and I guess this new campaign here, which we can quickly take a look at. I think it's once again with some you can buy it. Okay, I thought you also have this campaign where you can get 1,000 gems for logging in each and every day. And then we also have this here. This time around it's like 10 master packs for 1,000, and then you get this here. This is definitely worse than the other offerings we had over the past with the Blue Eyes and the Dark Magician. So in my opinion, do not go for this. As I basically always say when it comes to stuff like this, my opinion, not really worth it. But there's also Dragon of Pride and Soul, another pack that we can get here. But same thing, you get a protector. I guess for the 1,000 it's quite alright if you like the protector or like the wallpaper or something like this. Then you could go for this, and I think the wallpaper is really quite amazing, even though I'm not quite sure what card this is and what this card achieves. So later on, next video you will see, we will stream in an hour, but then we will also make a pack opening here because I will pull from this pack. As you can see, I have saved a lot of resources. We will take a look at the pack in a moment. We have the Promethean Princess wallpaper, which I personally really like. I like the Dark Magician sleeves here, I have to say, but let's take a look at the most important thing here. And we only have one animation for Volcanic, which the animation is insane. And there's Bonfire in this pack. I already took a look at this. Basically all the Ultra Rares are new besides the Unchained Abomination. And yeah, we have the new Unchained cards here, and quickly want to answer the question, should you invest in this pack or shouldn't you? Is this a good pack or is it not? And in my opinion, it's a very fire-focused pack. That's why we have Bonfire in here. We already knew that we would get Bonfire together with the Volcanic stuff, so that's not a big surprise. Volcanic can definitely be a very interesting deck that you can play together with the Snake Eye stuff. I think it's the deck about burning your opponent down. It's not the strongest deck ever. It can be quite fun, but we have the Bonfire, which obviously is very impactful and will make Snake Eyes, it already is, right, but this will make Snake Eyes the best deck by far in the game. I'm so surprised that we have not gotten any hits, and then also got the Bonfire here, which this can add 1 level 4 or lower Pyro monster from your deck to your hand, which is your Snake Eye Ash, so your starter in the deck. And then obviously we have the new Unchained cards, which actually are only 3. The Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, which you will need 2 times. You will need 3 of Unchained Soul of Shavara, and we will stream on later with this deck. And then you will 1 Unchained Soul of Shayama, which I was expecting the super rare to be Shayama because you only need 1 of this, and for the other ones you need 3 and 2. Then you have the Battling Boxer stuff, which not very impactful, but the Battling Boxer King Dempsey you can use in Infinite Noble Knight to search here. So you can see if this card is special summoned. No, you can detach raw material from a monster you control, and if you do, apply the following effect. Oh no, where is this effect that is useful? Let me read this. If this card is special summoned, you can take 1 level 4 or lower fire warrior monster or 1 Battling from your deck, okay, or send it to the graveyard. So you can send something to the graveyard, one of your Infinite Noble Knights, or add it to your hand, and you can make this with 2 level 4s, obviously. And then we also have the Infernal Flame Banshee, which is a nice pyro monster that you can make with 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach raw material from this card, take 1 pyro monster from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So a lot of interesting cards in here. And then we also have the reprints for Unchained. You can see there's a Labyrinth reprint here because we also have Arias, the Labyrinth Butler, which you can definitely play at 3, which is able to set a trap from your hand that you can then activate this turn, or can also, I think, special summon a Labyrinth monster from your hand. And then if this thing is in the graveyard and something is changed to the activation of your Labyrinth cards, then you will be able to get this back to the field where you can then use it again. This is also a level 6, which you will now be able to play this Unchained/Labyrinth variant here, which we might also try on later today, even though I'm not quite sure how this works, to be honest. I know the deck lists, I have seen this, but we will maybe see this on the ladder when we play Unchained ourselves. And then other than that, we have Magnum the Reliever, which is a very interesting fusion target for Branded, because you can one monster special summon from the extra deck, one monster in the hand. This will also be very nice for Branded Chimera. So a lot of new cards actually here in the pack. As you can see, most of the ultra rares being new besides this one, and also the other cards here. We have the Sleipnir the Runic Mane, which I talked about, which in my opinion is not that impactful. We have a new Testalos Monarch card here. Other than that, the other cards not too impactful. Obviously some support for the volcanic stuff and some support for the full armored stuff, which we talked about, which you can see up here with the full armor Dark Knight Lancer. And where are the other full armor cards? The other ones, the Fortress and stuff like this, and the Torpedo are super rares. You can climb up into this guy here. This will be relevant in the future when we will get the Goblin Biker stuff. This can also be played now, but the Goblin Biker stuff, because these are level 3 monsters, will definitely play this engine, you could call it, and this will be quite nice. So answering the question, should you pull from this pack? In my opinion, this is a very nice pack supporting a lot of archetypes here, because you will get support for your Labyrinth here with Arias, but also with the Unchained cards. The cool thing about the Unchained cards is that you can either play the pure Unchained, which we will do later on in the stream probably, or you could play the Labyrinth Unchained, which is also the strongest Labyrinth version. So Labyrinth, expect this one to be stronger after this update here. Not even sure if we will see a lot of Arias in there, as we have not seen a lot of transaction rollback in the top 100 decks of the Duelist Cup here, which is a video that we'll also see in a few days. Then obviously if you want to play Volcanic, you can definitely get the cards in here. You, I think, will need 3 Troopers and then 2 of the Emperor, if I'm not mistaken, but correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not the biggest Volcanic guy. I don't really know what's going on with that. And if you are playing Snake Eyes, of course, if you want to play Fire King Snake Eyes in the future, you will need Triple Bonfire. This is also a card that will always see some play in the future, but might also be limited in the future, because this is basically reinforcement of the army, but for Pyro monsters, which is basically the same, and reinforcement of the army is at 1. But you have to keep in mind that Pyro monsters are way worse than our Warrior monsters. So we have better Warrior monsters than we have Pyro monsters. Not really, because we also have the Snake Eye stuff at the moment, but the Snake Eye stuff is definitely the only thing that keeps this Bonfire here, or makes this Bonfire a good card. As you can see, you obviously can also combine the Bonfire with the Volcanic stuff, which this is why Decade also leaked this, or told us that this would come together, the Bonfire with the Volcanic stuff, because it makes sense. Both of them are Pyro archetypes here, and then we can see you get some other reprints here from Fire, like the Hita or the Volcanic support here. So all in all, in my opinion, a very good pack that I would definitely suggest you pull from. You also get, and that's quite nice, the Unchained reprints in here with Abomination's Prison and stuff. A bit unfortunate that we do not get the reprint of the Tour Guide of the Underworld, or Tour Guide from the Underworld, because this is the card that you will need 3 of, and this is an ultra rare. The Unchained Abomination, which is obviously a reprint, this card is already out, is quite nice, but you will only need 1, and you could even not play 1. The only unfortunate thing for Unchained, it's basically fully playable. The only thing that's missing, which is very strong, is the Esprit Little Knight, because if you're not aware, with the Link 2 of Unchained, but you will see this on later today in the stream, also with the Link 2 of Unchained, you will be able to make a Link summon on your opponent's turn. We will have to use the Nightmare Unicorn in order to be effective there, but in the future we will be able to use the SP Little Knight. So all in all, I have to say, a very cool pack here. I'm super happy that they dropped it now. I will spontaneously make videos today, of course. We also have support for Dark World now that I see it here, which is a very strong card for Dark World. Add 1 Dark World monster from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. You can only activate 1 Dark Corridor per turn. This is also only a super rare, so if you're already invested in the Dark World archetype, then go ahead and I would say just craft the super rare here. As always, if you only want to get super rares, I would suggest you do not pull from this pack, but just craft these super rares, right? Because this will be way cheaper here. There's a Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which we will also need 1 in Unchained. Very interesting. They already know what you will need in the Unchained build here, but other than that, nothing too special here. So definitely a good pack, not as good as was the Snake Eyes pack, for example, but a pack you should pull from. I think this is worth it. This is worth your gems, but keep in mind that if, for example, you have pulled from this pack for some time, and then let's say you only need, I don't know, 1 Arias the Labyrinth Battler, or maybe you need 3 Arias the Labyrinth Battler, this this is the only card that you will then need from this pack, then you should probably, or Bonfire for example, then you should probably stop and just craft this card, because always keep in mind you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1 in 13 chance of pulling the specific ultra rare that you need. So there is definitely a point at which it is more worth, what's the word I'm searching it, type it in the comments, guys. But it makes more sense to then just craft the ultra rare than to pull from this pack even more. So without further ado, I would say go for this pack. This is a pack that's worth investing your gems in if there is some archetype here that you really like. A lot of strong archetypes are supported in here, which is always the reason when I say go ahead and pull from this pack. Let me know in the comments what you think of this spontaneous update. What will you play in the current ladder? Will you play the full power Snake Eye that is now that it's available, or will you go for the Labyrinth Unchained variant, which will definitely be very strong, or the Pure Unchained, which we will go for later on today? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for being here. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the pack opening video in a few minutes.